And joining in studio now is Mr. Boo Linton. He's the CEO of Kleangas Energy Technologies Incorporated, KGET's their stock symbol. Boo, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Don.
Well, now you folks did something kind of remarkable for a small public company. You reported your first revenues this week. That's got to be exciting.
Exactly, and that might be breaking some kind of record, you know, a small cap company actually having revenue. So we're pretty excited about that. You know, we've worked a lot, and as a development stage company, you always wonder, when is it going to get to the point where you can start making sales and getting revenue? And to finally reach that milestone, it's very invigorating to us.
Well, you know, we deal with a lot of development stage companies on this program, have been for 18 years, and some companies never get to that point. They never actually are able to announce revenues for whatever reason. So that has to be very satisfying, as we've said. But what did you learn along the way?
Well, one thing in particular was if we were going to make revenues, we didn't want to make any big mistakes on our first order. So that's why our first shipment, we did it under 1,000 metric tons. Because if you make a big mistake, it's going to cost you. You know, when margins are kind of close, if you make a mistake that you didn't calculate, you could end up losing money. Okay. For instance, the super sacks. Those are the huge sacks. You can see them on our Kleangas website. They hold a ton of pellets, and you know they fluctuate 10, 20 pounds or whatever. But for those super sacks, we purchased used super sacks because we could save quite a bit of money. Mm-hmm. So we ordered a whole slew of them, a lot extra. And when I was down there at the factory in Arizona, he told us half the sacks are not even usable. Some of them have holes in them. The drawstrings that close them up weren't working. Fortunately, we had more than enough still to cover it. But that's one example. So imagine if you have a 3,000 ton order and you're there, and these things just don't come Federal Express overnight. You know, you plan it out for a couple of weeks. And if you were short and you had all these other things lined up, then it would be a catastrophic mistake. Another thing that came up was the trucking company that we hired. Well, we had them all hired. It was some company in Alabama, and I thought it was funny once when I left them a message to pay them and they didn't call me back. I'm like, you know, usually you want to return that phone call. But anyway, they ended up canceling on us. So it was okay. We called another trucking company and we said, don't go yet because the order's not ready. So they went anyway, and they were there 3 days early, bugging the guys at the factory. And so anyway, we decided not to use them, and as the saying goes, third time's a charm. Mm-hmm. The trucking company came in right on schedule, and that's when I was out there, and you saw that video, and everything went smoothly from there.
Well, you mentioned video because we had you on location in Arizona, and then we had you on location in Glendale in Arizona, where you were loading the wood pellets into the super sacks, and then of course in Glendale you were loading them onto the containers to go onto the ships. So the lessons you've learned, of course, are check the super sacks before you start loading pellets, and make sure you have it dialed in with your trucking company. So now that you've got this first shipment out of the way, you've generated your first revenues, what's next in this chain?
For the company?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to be shipping more than 1 metric ton your next shipment around. So I mean, when can we expect that to happen?
Well, we're in the process of determining that right now.
Okay.
You know, it's like a commodity, so prices are adjusting, and we're just trying to maximize our best opportunity. Right now, with the person that we initially shipped with, they seem like a very good candidate for us because we've already established something with them. Another thing that comes up is the letter of credit. It's a very unusual instrument, and typically people don't deal with it, and we went into the bank with it. They didn't know what it was, and you know, I'm familiar with them, but hadn't really put one all the way through the process. And you know, dealing with a Korean bank, are they using the Korean bank, or are they using the U.S. Korean bank that it's actually tied to? And then when the shipment gets to the dock, are they going to give you the cash then, or then they need to sample the products to make sure you didn't send them a bunch of newspaper clippings, I guess. I don't know.
It makes sense, yeah.
And so that's part of it. And probably the most valuable lesson I learned is when you are taking photos for photo opportunities, don't put your sunglasses in your back pocket because they may fall out and you lose them. So I lost my sunglasses in Phoenix. And somebody's going to get a wood pellet with some Maui gems in it, and maybe it'll burn better. I don't know. I hope so.
Now, we've got about a minute left, but last week I had one of your executive VPs on the phone telling us about the testing that you folks have done with hemp, as far as hemp being a source for these wood pellets. How's that coming along?
It's, we're still progressing with it, and we're trying to work out some details as far as how we want to be able to commercialize it. And interesting, just today we had a message on our Facebook. Someone responded saying, inquiring about the hemp and how they could do it. And at the end of it, I haven't yet answered the question, but they said, if you do have it like this, we'll take a truckload of it.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to following up on that and to see what we can do, because it seems to be an excitement level of a new product line that has great potential because it can grow back very quickly.
Fantastic. Kleangas Energy Technologies, KGET is their stock symbol. A lot of information in this update. Thanks so much.